Steve, these two teams have not met in a grand final series. Unbelievable. They hate each other over the years.
It is so hard to believe. And when you first said that stat, I had to think about it. And it was great matchups. A lot of them came to semifinal. Gary Irvin going to the basket, loses it. Good heads-up play.
So Gary Irvin back after serving his suspension. Good news for the Adelaide 36ers. Perfect timing, but they didn't really need him in Game 3. They were absolutely sensational getting through to this grand final, and he's back and in form. Here's Johnson. They need something special for him, and that's a great start to Daniel Johnson. A little floater for two.
He is just so versatile. When he comes out there and he drops 20 and picks up 12 rebounds, it's going to be a long night for any opposition.
James Ennis, he'll be fired up. He's up against Johnson, draws the foul and drops the basket in. He'll go to the line for a three-point play, and that's exactly what Perth would have needed from James Ennis after the week he's had.
And both teams going to their offensive juggernauts and just getting them going early. Good to get him involved. Look at him getting the crowd into it. This has just been two play phases, and you can already see the game taking shape.
And after doing that to the crowd, he had to drop that one in, and he did. Made it a three-point play. It's 3 plays 2 as the Cats turn it over. Here's Redditch up against Irvin. Into the hands of Beal. Then a dead-eye dig from the three-point line. Knight at the top of the key. 16 on the shot clock. Martin a little stuck at the top of the key. They'll have to reset things up again. Good match-up for Redditch tonight. They've worked it in. He finishes with the jam.
Like I said in the opener, Lockie, there is no better team in the league at throwing that extra pass. They do such a great job. They all know one another. That core group has been together for a while, and they find each other.
A little bit of work off the ball as Johnson gathers it. What a force he has been. He was smothered by a couple of Wildcats. No foul called, and then a bit of push and shove. This is what we like to see.
I'm sure that they're having a word with Matthew Knight about falling down. He might be the strongest guy in the league.
We'll have another look at it now. Johnson did stand up. Not much we can see there. Knight falling over. Johnson saying, "What happened? I didn't even touch him."
One thing it does, it gets the crowd right into the game.
Here's Irvin. His shot a little short. James Ennis will take the rebounds. Dribbles the full length of the court. Gives it off to Martin. Trying to find the gap. Goes for a little jumper. His shot short, and Irvin picks up the crumbs. Gibson, quick pass to Irvin from outside three. Yes, Gary. Terrific shot from Gary Irvin. We're all tied up 5 apiece.
He stepped right into that.
Forcing the shot away is Beal. They come out of the hands of Damien Martin. Brendan Tees was terrific. Saw one of his games against the Melbourne Tigers in Melbourne. He just put up the numbers. He did exactly what his coach wants. I know he's not the big name in the starting 5, but does the role perfectly.
He sure does. And that's what he was able to do for him as he gets the score right there. Tees just showing you the confidence that he has built on the offensive end of the floor. Joey Wright says he's been doing that all year in training. He's been able to turn it over into the games.
Here's Damien Martin. His basket won't go. Matt Knight, strong as ever on the basket. Gets it in off the backboard for 2 points. Tony Rollinson, you've been part of the Perth Wildcats team for quite some time. The atmosphere so far, you're in amongst it. What's it like? Very loud, obviously. We'll get back to the Bear in a moment. He's over in the corner, hovering around. He'll give us the latest on all the huddles as Gibson forces his way through and draws the foul. So it's 7 plays 7, Steve. Terrific start from both teams.
Sure is. This baseline out of bounds, Adelaide get a lot of mileage out of it. They come up short on that one. But both these teams playing to their strengths already.
Into the corner. Beal just gathers it. Now it's with Ennis, who lost control. Tees somehow ended up with it. He goes from one end to the other, misses the layup, and there'll be a foul called. Johnson came in to help out. And the Cats will be called for that foul. Have a look at it again. It was just very awkward.
I thought Tees did a great job of anticipating that James Ennis was going to show a shot and then drive, and he went to a strong hand on his right. Just closed out to that right side of his body, and it paid off.
So an inbounds from Adelaide. Let's go back to Tony Robinson as Gibson has to shoot quickly. And it won't go. Tony, the atmosphere unbelievable here inside the Perth Arena. He is really in amongst the fans there, so he can't hear. James Ennis up against Gibson. Nearly forced to take the shot. Now with Redditch, he'll step back outside the three-point line and drop it in.
He was just awesome in the series against Wollongong. 5 for 5 outside on the three-point line and just stretches out the defense.
Good response from Adelaide. Daniel Johnson. Not a lot of ball movement on that occasion, but they'll take the points and keep him in the game. 10 plays 9. Here's Damien Martin to Redditch again. Petrie on him. Tonight, matchups all over the court. Some thrilling ones. Irvin, the little fella, just trying to get in the space of Ennis. He won't be able to do that if they lob it over the top like that. Little alley-oop for James Ennis for 2.
That's just a defensive breakdown. If Gary Irvin's going to front the post, he's got to have some help from the weak side.
Johnson, good pass inside to Petrie. Mr. Reliable scores another 2. So the defensive pressure just not up to it at this stage. 12 plays 11.
Well, both teams are just doing whatever they want on the offensive end of the floor. Great little high-low, Petrie and Daniel Johnson. Of course, they have that with Schencher when he comes into the game, too.
Posting out there, Sean Redditch, he loves it when they just throw it down there, and he does that little sky hook. But that time, it didn't drop in. He drew the foul and go to the line.
Well, after that possession, Adam Gibson, who's their defensive leader out there, is just talking about how they have to play that, because the last 2 possessions, clear mismatches down on the block. We had Ennis, who was just so much taller than Gary Irvin, gets an easy pass over the top, no help defense. And then on that one, Adam Gibson has Sean Redditch on a low post seal.
It's out to 2 points now, that margin. As Redditch shoots his second, swishes through, 14 plays 11. Full court pressure comes again. Irvin grabbing hold of it. It's through the double team. Gibson to help him out. Good pass to Johnson. He's keen to shoot away tonight. And why wouldn't he be? Daniel Johnson on fire. From outside the arc, inside the key. He can do it all. 7 points to his name.
And that is how you have to attack the pressure, extended pressure of the Perth Wildcats. You got to make them pay on the other end of the floor. That's why he is such a tough cover, Lockie. He hits the three-point shot right there, and he's got these unorthodox moves where he shows that, gets him up in the air. He shoots on a half beat. He shoots off the wrong leg. He shoots floaters. He does everything.
Well, Tony Robinson has now got the big earmuffs on because he couldn't hear us before. It is that loud out there. Tony, what have you seen in the first couple of minutes of this game that stood out?
It certainly is, Lockie. My wife does say I do have selective hearing, but I haven't been trying to phase you guys out, but it is just a fantastic atmosphere down here. 14,000 people, all wearing red. But Adelaide have weathered the storm pretty well so far. It's always the start, the way you come out. And a 15-14 game, they'll be happy with that as Johnson pulls up for the 3 and whack!
Wow, they might just want to put a hand in his face. Daniel Johnson has 12 points to his name, and the 36ers have jumped out to a 2-point lead. Tony, that's the sort of stuff you used to do.
Well, I wish I could still do it, but he's been fantastic, and that's the sort of start Adelaide need in this game. They need to weather the storm and just let both teams settle down and just be in that game. The Wildcats always try and create a bit of a lead at the start, and they just run away with it. So it's key that they stay in it for this first 5 minutes, let the emotion go out of the game, and then the two teams will just settle down and play their natural game.
And it looks like Daniel Johnson is like in a hypnotic state. He is just dead focused.
There's Damien Martin down the other end. That one a little too far as Petrie was nice and aggressive. Hasn't played in the grand final series. He was very excited. I chatted to him before the game got underway. Been close on a couple of occasions as he loses control there. Good hands from Perth. Beal trying to draw the foul. Gives it to Ennis. This will bring the house down if he drops it. He doesn't. Great mark. Damien Martin. It was a mark. Calling a mark. He actually just jumped over the top of his defender and dropped it back in the hoop. 17 plays 17 at the timeouts.
He is just a great he is a competitor, whatever it takes. I've seen him dominate games when he's gone 0 for 3 from the field. Look at this. He just sees the ball, gets to it, and just outquicks Gary Irvin, who was just underneath that rebound, and Damian Martin gets a running start at it.
One of his games we watched during the year, he had 18 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 steals. Let's listen in to Trevor Gleeson.
He's got his eye in now, so we got to make him a driver. What hand does he want to drive with? They can put it on the floor. Same thing. Good rebounding. Offensively, just keep through the second side. Okay, let's run a. Let's run an X-Y with the pass. X-Y with the pass. Guys, keep our energy on the defensive end. We haven't got 3 stops yet. We've got to start locking down defensively. Get back, close up, and then we're standing here. We've got to get back. Don't let that seal. Still shrink the court. The ball's here. Shrink the court. Then work out of that. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Well, Trevor Gleeson in that timeout as you check out the Twitter hashtag NBL Grand Final. Join the conversation on how you would try and stop Daniel Johnson, because in that timeout, Trevor Gleeson said, look, he's got a hot hand already, so you got to make him a driver. So put it on the floor, and he asked the question, what hand do you think he's going to drive with? Daniel Johnson loves to go to his right hand, so run him off the three-point line and run at his right shoulder.
Luke Shencher into the game. They got the tall timber in the Adelaide 36ers. Reece Carter's also there. Jesse Wagstaff in for the Wildcats as Adelaide continue to score at a great rate. That was Tees scoring the big bomb. Johnson has 10, Tees has 5. Gibson yet to score.
Can you believe over a month ago, teams were just daring Adelaide to shoot. They're 4 for 4 outside the three-point line in Grand Final Game 1.
Here's Beal from outside the 3. Very comfortable from there for Jermaine Beal. 20 plays 20. It's game on, no doubt about that. Live around the nation on 1. Hope you're enjoying all the NBL action. Game 2 on Thursday. Johnson, every time he grabs it, he just looks straight to the hoop, Steve Calfino.
Why wouldn't you when you're that hot?
Here's Shencher. He'll finish with the slam. Great ball movement, great pass from Gibson.
Trevor Gleeson wouldn't be happy with that lack of defense on that dribble penetration. Just way too easy.
Brendan Tees, can't believe it. He's been called for the foul. So there'll still be a Wildcats ball. We spoke about Daniel Johnson, and each time he comes here or he plays against the Wildcats, he just has a terrific game. He's a WA boy, scored 28 in the first game, 24 in the second game. He had a sluggish third game, 10 points, and then rocked out with another 19-point game against the Cats as the Cats shoot away again.
He's a big stage player. When you come here, there's 13,000 people here, and you either want them to cheer for you or want to silence them.
He goes again for the shot. That one was swatted away by Damian Martin. Had the double team. Probably just needed to pass it out to the three-point line and either shoot away or work it in. Gibson was just standing there. Probably just needed that little pass out.
And sometimes when you're that hot, when you talk about somebody's hypnotic and they're just focused and they're only seeing one thing, he's seeing the hoop. And he's seeing it real big, and he ain't seeing passes.
Here's Gibson, dangerous pass across the keyway. He's heading in the direction of Johnson. Pretty good option, and he's got 10 points to his name. And it's the 36ers leading by 2 here at the Perth Arena. As Gibson had to shoot away, the shot clock was winding down. It got to 3. Well done to Shencher. Retrieved it. He won't give up an opportunity to shoot. That's Reece Carter, and that one doesn't go.
Boy, Perth are so good at putting pressure on the passer, and that's been about the 4th deflection on a pass. And if they didn't have it, the shooter was wide open.
Ennis, the quick pass inside to Wagstaff, up against Shencher. Wagstaff, the pressure was a little immense for him. He'll come back with the ball and reset things. 22, new shot clock. Post up from Redditch. Johnson had him covered. Redditch continues to try and work away. And that was smooth, isn't it? Perfect touch from Sean Redditch.
The defense did about 3 things well to stop him, and on the 4th he scored.
22 plays 22. Both these teams high scoring this season. Great little baseline cut from Carter. Just couldn't finish the play. It'll be a Wildcats ball.
That's a great pickup by Adelaide, picking up Reece Carter. He gives him a little offensive punch. He's a good foul shooter, and he is a tremendous defender. I know Damian Martin gets a lot of credit, which he deserves, but Reece Carter is a super on-ball defender.
Not to always bring bad news into the commentary, Steve, but Joey Wright has not coached a team to a playoff win on the road since his days at the Bullets back in 2007. The last 5 road games in playoffs. Grand final pass as Ennis says, thanks very much for a bit of space. Oh, ran that in the hoop.
Crowd were on their feet after he took the first dribble and he had a wide open path to the hoop.
Here's Johnson to Carter. Drives to the basket, the pass inside's good to Shencha. They work that well. They're using their bigs very well, Adelaide.
They sure are. And the thing that is troubling Perth right now is the easy dribble penetration by the 36ers, by the guards to find the bigs.
Air ball from James Ennis. He's feeling hot. Irvin to Kadee. Had a terrific game in Game 3. He was fouled after his shot, so Jason Kadee should go to the line. Couple of changes as well. Johnson resting up after a fantastic start as we have a look at James Ennis flying through the air. Steve Carfino.
But I got criticized on Twitter by some Perth fans by not getting excited enough when he had a 360 in Sydney.
Yep.
But he made it look so easy. It was hard to get excited.
Mesmerized.
But in that same game, he dunked on Tommy Garland, what I thought was the dunk of the year. I went crazy on that one.
So it was after the shot, so Kadee had to take the inbound. He gets it again. His first shot won't go. New shot clock as we close in on quarter time. The big man, BJ Anthony, working hard underneath the hoop. Can he keep it alive to Adelaide's way? No, he doesn't. As Beal gathers it. So 45 seconds remaining. A couple of possessions for both these teams as we close in on quarter time. Jervis is on for his first run. Just a little handoff. In the end, finds Beal. The pressure comes from Shencha. Beal, 4 on the shot clock. Had to shoot. And one ups Jermaine Beal.
He's so dangerous with the shot clock winding down. He's got that quick release. He's got the ability to get into the lane and finish. He's a prolific scorer, and he got a number of options out there.
So Irvin's going to take the clock right down to quarter time. BJ Anthony to Gibson, shooting from long range. And there'll be a foul under there. Shencha's been called for a little hold. And with 4 seconds to go, not great news for Adelaide. It'll give Perth the ball. And they're in the bonus, it looks like, Steve, so they'll go to the line.
We couldn't see it. Well, Michael Aylen just right there saying to Luke Shencha just wrapped his arms around the rebounder and goes the other way. So a 3 by Jermaine Beal on the last possession, and Hire comes in with an opportunity to make it 5 straight for the Wildcats. Now, I talked about in the keys to victory is offensive rebounds. You got to limit the Wildcats to offensive rebounds. That is a offensive rebounding machine right there in Greg Hire. And he hasn't gotten a rebound yet, but he knocked one loose that the Perth Wildcats got, and then they hit a 3-point shot.
Absolutely, as Hire drops the first and gets the second. So still 4 seconds on the clock. Kadee will have to race it from one end of the court to the other. He draws the foul. And go on Drake Yu. We've still got 2 seconds remaining. You mentioned Michael Aylen. He's reffing his 24th consecutive grand final tonight. That is an unbelievable effort. 29-24. It's a 5-point margin. Can Adelaide sneak in a 2? You just told he was standing a little close. So 36ers will get back again.
And Adelaide had a guy open. I bet they didn't want that warning.
So the pass now to Irvin. 2 on the shot clock. Bombs away. It was on target. It just didn't go in. So an unbelievable start to this game. It's high scoring. It's thrilling. There's a bit of push and shove. The Wildcats are 29, 36ers 24. 5 points is the Wildcats' lead as we get this second quarter underway, but Adelaide played better than that 5-point margin, didn't they?
They sure did. Joey Wright just not happy with how his team came out defensively. Now, Chris Golding, he's the hottest player in the competition at the end of the year, but Adelaide's stifling defense wasn't anything like in the first quarter like it was in the semifinal against the Tigers in Game 3.
As Beal had to shoot away with 6 on the shot clock. Tony Ronaldson, I'm sure you were hovering around both huddles. What did you wean out of the quarter-time huddles from the coaches?
Well, Trevor Gleeson, he was all about defending the paint. He wants to get 3 stops to start this second quarter. He was pretty happy. He said the Adelaide 36ers are going to get some quick shots up. Just keep defending, defending, and defending. Not like that one from Anthony Petrie as he shoots one deep.
Oh, Anthony Petrie, I just love the way he plays. He's one of my favourites. He's just rock solid. You know, he never makes a mistake. No, he doesn't. Well, he does dunk because he dunked a couple of weeks ago. Nice little alley-oop. But no thrills, just a real hard worker as Jervis continues to work under the basket and he finishes off the glass.
And Matthew Knight's injury works out to be a blessing in disguise for the Perth Wildcats because Jervis just got to another level.
Rookie of the year for the NBL. Kadee has it. Foul's called on Damian Martin. And it's a real good sign, isn't it, for blokes who maybe hit 25, 26 and think, no, I can't play NBL anymore. That's a sign that you can if you stick at it.
That is a great sign. And I love the way the Perth Wildcats just, you know, they heard about him, they went and watched him, they gave him an opportunity. He gets the opportunity, runs with it. The Perth Wildcats reward him with not just playing time, but he's part of the structure now.
Here's Irvin. He was covered nicely by Beal. Petrie trying to force his way in, and
that's just good swarming defense, and the Wildcats so good at running guys off the three-point line and then sliding their feet and getting their hands in.
Still a 4-point margin. 31-27 is the score. Wagstaff to Beal. Passes inside to Martin. The ball movement terrific. They need to get a shot away though, because there's 5 on the shot clock. Jervis forced to push it up from the corner. He misses the hoop completely. High gathered it. But Adelaide will come up with it. Quick outlet pass to Johnson. Great hands going in Martin. Johnson was going all the way to the hoop. Martin just got in there and tapped it out of bounds.
See, these are the type of things that can weigh on your mind. Perth do a great job defensively last couple of possessions. They look like they're about to have an easy basket, and still one of the Perth defenders in Damian Martin comes up, makes a great defensive play. So even an easy play gets taken away.
Well, it's 31-27, still 4 points the margin. Welcome back, 4 points is still the margin. Let's listen in to Joey Wright. Just lots of yelling and screaming in there amongst the huddle, just revving each other up and saying keep in this game because it's only 4 points the margin in front of a raucous crowd at this stage.
Yeah, one of the things Joey Wright's going to do is he is going to mix up the defenses. He's just not going to allow the Perth Wildcats to get in the rhythm of the game, staying man-to-man too long. They'll go to a zone. They'll throw three-quarter pressure at him, half-court traps, just try and get him out of it.
Irvin forces his way through and draws a foul. Tony, Adelaide, we mentioned at the quarter time, they were trailing, but they'd certainly played some really good basketball to be a little bit closer than this. What have you made of their start to the game?
Yeah, look, I think they'll be ultimately pretty happy with it. They're getting some opportunities. We saw before the 36ers offensively just throw the ball around a little too much when Anthony Petrie travelled and then turned the ball over. Joey Wright wants them to shoot the ball. He believes in them. He wants them to go down dying, or not, knowing that they've left it all on the floor, and he doesn't want to just swing the ball from side to side. So I think Adelaide will be pretty happy with where they're at right now. It's a 2-point game, 8 minutes to go in this second quarter, and they're playing pretty good basketball.
They are. Like I mentioned before, they've gone to this zone just trying to slow down the efficiency of the Perth Wildcats on the offensive end. And You know, on this possession, there's been a whole lot of standing around. Jermaine Beal makes an individual move, knocks it down, but not a whole lot of movement on that one.
No, you wouldn't rely on that each and every time they come down the court. Jermaine Beal's pretty good, but he wouldn't do it every time as Kadee forces up a shot. Johnson trying to jump over the top of Jervis, who fumbled, and it's out of court. 4 points, that lead for the Wildcats. But Beal with 8 points to his name. Johnson, the game high, with 10. And Adelaide shooting at 37% from the field, 50% from the three-point line. That's certainly been the differences. The ball movement's good on this occasion. Petrie from long range. That three-pointer won't go. Gathered by Ennis. Once he got up his sleeve to Beal. Into Wagstaff. To the corner to Ennis. That smooth style of his. Can't make it go. Martin just decides to give it back to Jervis, who, unfortunately for the Adelaide defenders, they're worried about Damien Martin finishing the play.
It's such a heads-up play. Often you'll see guys get offensive rebounds and just feel like they should automatically put it back up because they deserved it. But Martin saw that he didn't have the best angle to get the score and kicked it to an open teammate.
Needing to get this man going in Adam Gibson. He's yet to score in the game, none from 4 from the field. But at some stage, he'll light it up. Great little pass inside. Sneaking along the baseline, James Ennis for 2. A little foot from Jesse Wagstaff, so Mitch Creek wants a piece of the action.
Just on that last possession, Damien Martin just had way too much time to make a play there. Nobody shows on the screen. He just casually gets into the lane and no pressure on the passer. He's going to find somebody like that every time.
So Urban passes inside. He passed it straight to Wagstaff, hoping Johnson would creep into the corner, and didn't come off for Adelaide. Petrie was there. He was sort of in between Johnson and Petrie. That wasn't one of his great passes over his career, I would have thought.
Well, the clock was winding down. It was getting close to a 5. I think it was at about 3. But, I mean, even if you don't have anybody to throw it to, try and throw it off a defender before you throw one like that.
Here's Beal. He's a long way out. Oh. He's come to play in the grand final. Jermaine Beal out to 11 points.
So many weapons.
Pressure on Adelaide now as Damien Martin's called for another foul, and he's in a little bit of trouble, Steve. I reckon that might be his 3rd for Damien Martin.
He just had hands in.
And it is his 3rd foul, Damien Martin, so he might be resting up until at least half-time, which is not great news for the Cats, and luckily, I suppose, for them, they've got an 11-point lead, because their best defender and the league's best defender sitting down.
I think it's as simple as Perth are giving up 3-point shots. Adelaide were knocking them down. And then in this run, they haven't been able to hit the 3-point shots.
Here's Johnson. Started brilliantly. What can he do now? He's forced to bomb away again. The shot clock wound down to 1, so he had no other option than to shoot that 3-pointer. Here's Beal, been a star, little crossover, found a gap, works his way through, and nearly finished one of the great plays we've seen in recent weeks.
And that's why he's such a tough cover. He's already hit a couple of 3-point shots, so Reese Carter has to respect the fact that he's got a quick release, and he bites on that hesitation move, and he can finish, and he can make his free throws. He's a nightmare to guard.
Well, probably one of the big differences between this team and last year's team, or the 2 teams that struggle to make, is Jermaine Beal is, in my opinion, equivalent to Kevin Lish. Similar type of players. Beal just really strong and maybe plays slightly different, but they also have added Ennis as well, which the Cats didn't have last year.
And that extra year of the core group being together, making that extra pass, knowing where the teammates are, and they have a better roster.
Probably don't go as deep, do they? But they've got more stars in this team, as Tees has it. Lots of pushing and shoving off the ball through the key. Shensha drew the foul. I think it was on Matty Knight. Yes, it was. And I think also last year, Lish, as we saw in the grand final series, was targeted a little bit defensively. It was all about stopping Kevin Lish from scoring. He wouldn't have had it if he had James Ennis alongside him. It would have freed him up a lot more.
And that was the first time I ever saw Kevin Lish just get rattled. I would see him often in pressure situations, and you couldn't tell whether he was having a good game or a bad game. He just never showed any emotion. That was the first time I ever saw him get upset, argue. I mean, great player. I mean, I love players like that. Damian Martin, same way. You know, you rarely see him get upset with the referees. He never bitches at a teammate.
As Beal bombs away again, surely he couldn't have shot that. Redditch to Greg Hire. Gathers again. 19 on the shot clock. They want to get it in the hands of Beal to create something now. Tease with the tough ask to stop him. Schencher backed off. And Beal said, thanks very much.
That's just a mental error by Schencher. A guy that hot, you got to run him off the three-point line. Doesn't matter whether he gets dribble penetration past you. You can get help out there. Or I should say in there.
15 points for Jermaine Beal as Johnson does very well. Love the way he plays as well. Big, strong boy. Scores big points. He's up to 14. Beal the game high with 15, and we've still got 4 minutes to go to half-time.
I mean, Adelaide haven't played that bad, and they're still down by 11.
Here's Ennis to Greg Hire. Loading up from outside the three-point arc, and that one just rattled around and dropped in for Hire.
Not bad for a guy that wasn't allowed to shoot in college. Great screener, great offensive rebounder.
And right back at you from Brendan Teese. Playing in the Seabull last year. And he's now in amongst the grand final team, starting and scoring. Good to see. All the hard work pays off as Redditch in the corner with another two. Never misses from there, Sean Redditch.
So if you play off of Greg Hire, he puts it on the floor, draws two, kicks it to the wide open score.
54 from the field for the Perth Wildcats. That's a great pass from Teese. Well worked too from Schencher. So they're sticking in there, no doubt about that. It's still a 12-point margin. They just need to get a stop here. In fact, need 2 or 3 stops as we approach half-time. Pass to the post. Knight covered now by Carter. They won't back off on him now, so he's forced to drive over to Knight. The shot is short, and a little push out. Sean Redditch, the matchup was against Reece Carter.
Well, he was in trouble down there, and he had to do it illegally. If he allows him without shoving him, that's just a rebound and a putback with his lack of size. Good patience there. I mean, Jermaine Beal's no doubt hot. He draws 2 guys, kicks it to the open guy, and that's what I love about Perth. Even when a guy's got a real hot hand, they don't take bad shots.
Redditch's shot rattles around Schencher, imposing himself on the game. Good to see. And the big man won a championship with Perth in 2010. Here's Carter. Into the hands of Gibson. Great pass to Johnson. He was covered by Knight. And the contact was okay, said the referee. And the Cats have a 12-point advantage. We'll watch it again, Steve.
That's good defense by Matthew Knight. Just gets there from the weak side, puts his hands up, contact comes to him, good no call, and makes him shoot a tough shot.
So a little over 2 minutes to go before halftime. Hope you're enjoying all the action on one. Here's Jermaine Beal, being the dominant player for Perth. On the flip side, he's defended by Johnson, who's been terrific for Adelaide, and Beal's shot gets stuck. Tony, I know you're hovering up and down the sidelines there. With 2 minutes to go in this term, how did Adelaide get some stops and get themselves at least inside double figures.
Well, they need to get some good shots, and not allow the Wildcats are just executing whatever they want. It doesn't matter. And that man Beal is taking the game over. So they really need to make someone else beat them, make him get the ball out of his hands and try and disrupt them. They've just got to get it back into single figures in this last couple of minutes of the first half.
The pass inside to Johnson. And that Knight's presence under there has been terrific. The last two passages of play, Johnson just can't get the shot away.
Well, the Perth Wildcats aren't allowing dribble penetration. That's how all of the shots that were wide open for Adelaide in the first quarter and early in the second, they're not getting anything. As soon as the ball gets into the paint, the Perth Wildcats are swarming and they're rotating so well and getting to the shooters.
Joey's very frustrated right now. Has he got some reason to be?
I don't think so. That's a
push-off from Irvin. That's an offensive foul. So right now, they've just lost what they were doing really well in the first quarter. And that's a little bit of composure. And as you said, I suppose, with the three-pointers not dropping, it's putting a lot more pressure on them to find a way of scoring.
It is, because the Perth Wildcats are good. Once they started missing a couple of three-point shots at 36ers, they know that. They're running hard at them, and then they're getting the hard closeouts, and that was one of the things in the keys to victory. Close out on them hard and don't allow them dribble penetration.
If that big has come up there, let's go drops on the 5 now. Drops on the 5, all right? And we're going to pitch it on Bill. We're going to pitch it hard. Pitch it hard, all right? Get into it hard. Watch this guy creeping down the middle, all right? Right now on offense, we got to get some second shots, okay? We're getting one shot up there, nobody's going. I know you win a couple times. You got called for it. So let's go get me some. Go get me some, all right? And let's get more movement down here. Let's get more movement. We're okay. We're not playing great basketball. They're hitting some shots, and we're only down 12, okay? Calm ourselves down and get some movement. Let's go strong to the bucket, though. Go strong to the bucket, all right? Jump stops on, jump stops on. Use your jump stops going to the hole. Power up, okay? So look down here, we're going to go for movers.
I like the fact that he said that, the Perth Wildcats are playing very well. They're hitting some shots. We're only down 12. Offensively, I like what he's saying about, let's go to the defensive end. He knows Jermaine Beal is a tough one. So they're going to pinch him, and then they were going to recover on the roller to the basket. And so they're going to try and clog up the middle. They had to address how to play Jermaine Beal. On the other end of the floor, dribble penetration, instead of taking off-balance shots once they get into the key, he said, come to a jump stop and then make a decision.
It's 12 points the margin. The thoughts of Steve Carfino on one. I love him when he comes to Perth, Steve. Crowd, they get around, you sign autographs.
I never know how they're going to react because I get hammered by people from Perth on Twitter.
Oh, we're nice over here, Steve. We just love basketball as Ennis pops out from inside the three-point arc and getting caught for a lot of fouls underneath the hoop now, Adelaide.
I mean, Joey can feel like, the fouls are going against them, but a bounding rebound like that, and Adam Gibson has Matthew Knight, or Gary Irvin, it was Reese Carter had Sean Redditch. They've got to hold and grab, or they're going to give up an offensive rebound and an easy two. So they've got to do that, and they're getting called for it.
So Knight misses them both, which is good news for Adelaide. Need to score here, minute 30 to go. And as Tony Rollinson said, need to get it inside double figures to keep the pressure on the home side. As Tees lights it up from just inside the three-point line, or just a two-pointer, but it's a handy one because it's back to 10 points now.
Tees has been phenomenal in this game. He's got 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting. Picked up an assist and a couple of rebounds already.
As I said, he had 17 against Melbourne in game 2, so comes in with a little bit of form as Beal is several metres outside the three-point line, and Greg Hire grabs a great rebound. It's the two big boys going at it.
I can't say enough about Hire's role on this team, and if that one goes in, there's the offensive rebound. He misses it. That's his 3rd offensive rebound on this play phase.
Get that out of there, says BJ. Ennis continues to fight away. He grabs it and then throws it in off the glass. A little unlucky for BJ Anthony's defense was great.
Well, Ennis gets the score, but give that to Greg Hire. He had 3 offensive rebounds.
Here's Beal still. He wants to give it to Ennis. Well covered by Gibson. He wasn't going to let him dunk that one. Beal will now settle things down as we approach half-time. Watch what this man can do. Irvin on his toes, awaiting something special from Jermaine Beal. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Passes to Knight. He'll have to shoot from there. There's lots of pushing and shoving off the ball. It's going to go the Adelaide 36ers way. Higher dragging down tees. So the 36ers will get a chance to score some points now.
See, the great work that Greg Hire does is just he works for everything. He goes for every rebound. If there's a physical challenge, he goes for it. But that's a mental error right there because that shot was never going to hit the rim. He was never going to get that rebound. So now he's put his team in a position where Tees, who is not going to score, they're 94 feet from the hoop and didn't have possession of the ball, and he goes up there and he's going to get 2 free throws.
And the way he's playing, he's going to drop both of them. Brendan Tees, as I say, he misses the first. I'll never say that again, sorry. He's got 9 points to his name. 4 from 5 from the field. He's shooting at 80%. He drops the second, though, which is good news. Back to 11 points the margin. Derek Burton comes on.
He deserves not just a starting role, he deserves that playing time. You know, I know he's had an exceptional half here, but he has shown signs like this for several games, the TV games that we've seen.
Here's Beal, has to shoot away, and his shot doesn't go. Well played by the referees to let that one go. The Wildcats with a spring in their step at halftime, but Adelaide is still in it, don't worry about that. Great to have the coaches with us as we get the third quarter underway here in the grand final. It's game 1. Can Adelaide fight their way back? They trail by 11. It's 51-40. We're underway again. Here's Martin. Looking inside to Knight. Johnson's got him covered now. Knight backs himself into the key, then loses possession. Great defensive play on that occasion from the visitors. Here's Petrie to Irvin and Gibson. Those two boys, Steve Carfino, Irvin and Gibson, need to really step up, not only score, but distribute the ball a lot better in this second half to get the win.
You're right. I mean, it could have been a lot worse if Tees didn't step up in the first half. Gibson draws a blank again.
Here's Ennis on the fast break. To Redditch, to Martin. Down into the corner. Here's Beal, the man of the moment. Still an 11-point margin. And the fans will stand until the Cats score. Can they do it on this occasion? Martin's basket was a little short.
And Adelaide, that is the shot that they will give up.
Here's Daniel Johnson. He forced that one up and it looked very ugly in the end. He was shooting everything in the first quarter and it's dried up a little bit for Daniel Johnson.
Yeah, he's got to reload and get himself back inside and use his length.
Ennis nearly stripped of the ball and Gibson had a hand in there.
Perth's so good at getting to those mismatches. Redditch on the last possession. This time it's James Ennis with the smaller Gary Irvin on his back.
The foul was called on Gibson. Not sure he had a lot of trouble there. It seemed more like Irvin who was had the hand on the ball, but Gibson was called with that one and he's got 3 fouls. And as I said, hasn't scored points. He's none from 5 from the field, Adam Gibson. We expect a lot more from him. Carter also struggling. He's none from 2 from the field. And Irvin scored 5 points. But those boys, they're the ones that need to stand up when you can't get it inside to the big men.
You're right, and Jason Cadillas struggled too. He's 0 for 3. He hasn't gotten that floater going. He's had no trouble getting into the lane. He's just having trouble finishing. Perth's defense, they might not be able to stop the initial drive, but their defense is swarming.
The pass from Tees into Petrie. And another one goes begging for the 36ers. Crucial part of the game right here. 13 points is the Wildcats' lead. Beal double teamed. Gets away the pass. Redditch has plenty of time to land that three-pointer.
Well, they get the basketball out of Jermaine Beal's hands, and like I said to Joey, you know, do you stop him or do they have too many weapons? And on that occasion, they do.
The pass inside the tees was okay in the end as Irvin drops it. 8 seconds on the shot clock, and Gary Irvin finally gets a three-pointer to go his way.
Gary just telling the guy, look, kick that thing out. Even if he doesn't shoot it, he'll make something happen. It's getting stuck down low.
So that might just inspire the visitors. They're trailing by 13. Irvin scoring the three. The double team on Beal. Johnson then relaxes that one. Good pressure from Tees. Gets it to Martin. 5 on the shot clock. They'll have to force it up. Martin has to go up against Johnson. And is he rolled his ankle? He's pulled up a little sore. So a little bit of concern for the Cats, but Adelaide won't care about that. Tees, terrific stuff from Tees. Nearly finished the basket, and then it rolled around from Petrie. But Brendan Tees, stand up. You are playing a great game.
He sure is. I mean, even that drive, he doesn't make it, but that forces the help defense to try and block his shot, and then they get a crack at the offensive rebound.
Martin looks okay, although he's just bending a little bit. He's had some troubles with the Achilles over the while. That more looked like the ankle, just a bit of a roll.
Yeah, he just jarred it, just went to elevate off of it. And watch as he probably does a little bit of a slip. Yeah, it slips, and then he just rolls that right ankle a little bit.
So back to 11 here. That was the halftime margin. The pass inside to Ennis. And that's always going to be tough to stop. James Ennis bullocking his way towards the basket.
And he catches a basketball that low on tees. He's going to score every time.
Daniel Johnson.
Looks as if Johnson has made the adjustment. He's refocused. Put the ball on the floor on that one time. He's been settling for the jumper quite a bit after that real hot start. And as I mentioned, sometimes when you get so hot, it throws you off of your game.
Another change. Shencher comes in for Petrie. So Johnson will move to that 4 spot. The height advantage massive when you look at it. Johnson and Shencher up against Matt Knight, who's really a 4-man, isn't he, in terms of his size. Play both the 4 and 5. That pass is a good one to Shencher. He was off balance, Luke Shencher, but he did very well. Little jumper from the top of the key was good.
This is the end of the court that they're struggling on. Have not been able to get the stops, get themselves back into the game.
Redditch tempted. We're going to go to that mismatch again as Knight received the ball from Ennis, and the foul will be called. There was about 4 or 5 36ers hovering around there. So Matt Knight will go to the line.
Well, you have to send a double down there, and then the Wildcats do it so well. The interior passing, and of course, that extra pass that gets kicked to a wide-open three-point shooter.
Knight drops the first. A little bit of foul trouble for Adam Gibson. He's on 3. Shencher on 3. And for the Wildcats, Damian Martin on 3. Knight's basket rattles around. Shencher takes the rebound to Irvin. Here's Gibson. Needs that to go. Yes, Adam. That's what we like to see. He's on the board, Adam Gibson, at a really important part of the game because it's back to 9 points to margin.
Tees with a block. Pretty good defense there. What I like about Gary Irvin is he knows his teammate Adam Gibson needed to get a bucket. You see him there, just hands in. It wasn't a whole lot. That was actually quite soft.
A little bit of footloose in the background. So it'll dance soon, I'm sure. As Damian Martin brings it into the front court. Creek has him covered. Gibson got the match up on Ennis. Knight back to Ennis. Tempted to shoot from a couple of metres out from the three-point line. Decides to go to Redditch with 10 on the shot clock. That rattles around, so Adelaide continue to do the job on the defensive end. This is where they need to score. Gibson says, I shot a 3, can I get a 2? No. As the rebound comes from Ennis, he grabbed it from nowhere. He'll take on Irvin and be fouled and scores. Incredible basketball. That just shouldn't have happened, Steve Calfino.
Why is that, Lucky? Because I'm telling you, this is a big-time play. He gets a huge rebound, and he is just single-minded getting to the rim there. That's just, sometimes you just got to give a guy credit. He is an outstanding player making an outstanding play.
I'm sure if Gary Irvin had his time over again, he'd be a lot harder on the foul, I would have thought, to make sure. That's why, I mean,
I'm sorry.
You just don't let him get himself to give himself a chance to score as Adelaide come up with the ball, 61-50.
I get what you're saying. Don't let him lift those hands.
When you were like me, Steve, when you had no ability, you had to be a little dirty to get away with it. There's a foul in there. And Damian Martin now with 4 fouls.
Boy, he has just not really caught a break tonight. Normally, you know, he gets his hands very active, gets a piece of the basketball, doesn't get called for those.
There's the foul trouble. The pass inside to Johnson. Did he travel? I think he did. Gathered the ball and then just a couple of steps before he shot away.
He did. He did travel.
So they got it inside double figures, and now it's back out to 11. The 36ers are certainly up to the challenge in this third quarter. Here's Redditch to Beal. Been a superstar tonight to Hire. Wanting to feed it tonight at the top of the key. 6 on the shot clock. This man will have to shoot. As he loses possession of it, it comes round the back of Matt Knights. And we'll have to rely on the possession arrow.
Trying to split the D.
It looks like it's an Adelaide ball as we see Ennis slow to get up afterwards. Just conferring over there, Steve. So I'll give just a score update. 61 plays 50, 15 points for Jermaine Beal, but he's lost that game high because Ennis now has 17 points. It's crept up on us a little bit. 13 for Sean Redditch and 14 for Daniel Johnson. He's leading the way for Adelaide.
You just have to watch James Ennis' numbers. He's like a stat accumulator. Got 17 points on 7 of 12 shooting. 3 for 4 from the foul. I picked up 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal. You know, he's so long and active. You know, that rebound that he had was just incredible. Let's listen in.
Can we come down there? Come down there, post up and attack. Okay, last 5 seconds. You need a rest, let me know. There's some new blood in. Hey, but I wanted 23 for Jimmy. Alright, so if you're on the 2, and you flex off, Greg, you stay. Jimmy coming off that. Alright. Now again, starting to be aggressive in transition. So that courage we talked about, spring your ass back, we've got to do it. Keep on cleaning up. Take your time on the foul line, work your technique, okay? Good rebound and keep attacking. We okay?
I like that. I mean, there's not a whole lot to adjust to. They're playing very well. They're taking it to the 36ers, making it very difficult for the 36ers to score. Join the conversation. Hashtag NBL Grand Final. You want to get on that?
Yeah, I'll get on that.
You want to make an adjustment?
No, well, no. Grand Final is good. As Kadee gathers it through the key, he goes. Ennis takes the rebounds. As long as someone is on the Twitter and enjoying it, and watching this game live around the nation, if you're not in amongst this sellout crowd wearing reds, as Beal has it, the little push-off should be an offensive, and it will be. Good stop there from Kadee.
That's the right call. Unfortunately, you do have to sell it. You know, a guy extends his arm, you got to act like you've been shot. And that was a call that never got called before. And it's such an advantage for the offensive player. I like the fact that these referees are getting it right.
Here's Johnson. Hands off to Gibson. Top of the key. He's covered by a couple. Now it's 9 on the shot clock. He'll have to go it himself. Decides to bomb from outside 3, and that was sensational. Tony Robinson, you've been watching on. It's now inside double figures. You called for that at halftime. Are you happy with how Adelaide are going about things?
Look, I don't think they'll be too disappointed. They definitely need to have tightened it up in the defensive end. They're getting some better looks, and I think the fact that Adam Gibson's getting involved offensively as Sean Redditch takes it to the rim is a good thing, and he's capable of taking it over. Wagstaff deep from 3, and that's not, they can't allow that. They can't allow wide open threes, and for the Wildcats to get their tail back up, because they had done a great job to curtail it a little bit.
Well, Lucky, they got the stop. It's another offensive rebound that results in a 3-point basket, and that has just been killing them all night.
Absolutely. There's a foul called on the Wildcats. Trevor Glesson shakes his head. He can't believe it. There's the pass here from Gibson. It's called on Redditch.
That's a tough angle to feed the post on. 36ers grab a break on that one.
Here's Gibson again, feeling a little bit of a hot hand. Goes to Shenshut. He'll back it in over Wagstaff. The pass again. Came back to Gibson, so has to shoot. Doesn't go. Creek did well. Is there a foul in there? No, said the referee. Ennis gathers it. A little over 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Just gets back out to 12 points, that margin. Adelaide can't keep it inside double figures as Higher bombs away again. That rattles around, and Johnson takes the boards. Here's Gibson to Johnson. He's brave from out there. Not shy at all. Continue to work away. Adelaide, well done. Gibson needs to score here, Steve. Someone needs to score. There's Johnson. And that would have been nice to be a 3-point play, but it'd be a foul on Wagstaff.
Crowd wanted to charge, but they don't get it. Gibson sees the open cutter. Wagstaff steps in front, one of those 50-50 calls that goes the other way. The crowd just reacting to the replays that are on the screen. They didn't like it.
If it doesn't go the way of red.
But again, it is triggered off of an offensive rebound, this time in the 36ers' favor.
Daniel Johnson still stuck on 14 points. He had 10 in the first quarter, scored 4 in the second. I just paused because this will be his first points of the third quarter. I didn't want to put the mocker on him. And he gets them both in for Daniel Johnson. 16 points to his name. Good pressure this time from Adelaide as Wagstaff just gets it away in time. Kadee tried to force the turnover. This is how they have to go now, really be strong in defence as Johnson will be called for a foul.
It's probably not a bad one. Gleason wanted an unsportsmanlike.
It's just a good hip and shoulder. A little bit of friendly fire from Daniel Johnson. And then Greg Hyatt goes to the line. Ten points is that margin, 64-54.
You know, the Wildcats, they're freewheeling. They'll move the basketball around. They'll take shots. They'll give you a shot to get back into the game if they dry up on the offensive end, but they're so good on the offensive rebounds.
There's rebound number 8 for Luke Shenshut. So he's doing his job underneath the basket. Tried to find a bit of space there. Johnson's just now, some of his shots are just a little loose, aren't they? Needs to find a better option.
He's being defended well now because they run him off the three-point line. He's missed a couple, and they know he wants to go right. So the defense is right there. He's got to shoot a tough shot over Wagstaff. That's a low percentage shot. And that's why Joey Wright said, look, when you dribble and you drive, come to a jump stop and make a good play. When you're off balance against the Wildcats and out of control, it's a streak and break going the other direction.
Rodney Clark must have turned up.
Yeah, he was something, wasn't he?
With the MVP chant going, so it was obviously for James. Didn't that cause a little bit of talk during the week?
Yeah, especially here. I mean, people in Perth got to see him all year. You know, Rodney Clark did a great job. No disrespect to him. But, you know, everybody here, you know, they got good reason to believe he was MVP.
Here's BJ Anthony's little spin move. Wound his way through the key, finished with the 2 points, but it won't be counted. A little bit of walkies there from BJ. Just a little stutter just before he shot it away. So a minute 42 remaining. Back out to 12 points the margin. Beal to higher to the top of the key to Jervis. Doesn't make it go, and there's going to be a foul. Reece Carter once again forced with a mismatch up against Wagstaff.
Exactly. I mean, the shot goes up. Big guy has position. You either give up 2 points or you try and hold, grab, do whatever you have to. Make him earn it from the line. That's better than just a free pass, especially when you're behind.
Well, Tony, as we said all throughout the coverage, Perth just seems to have all the firepower, don't they? If Beal gets stopped, then Ennis turns it up, and so too there's this man in Wagstaff.
Well, Adelaide just do a good job and then get into the game, bring it back to that 8-point margin, 9-point margin, and then they down the other end, they do something like turn the ball over, or they allow the Wildcats to get an offensive rebound and just get it back too quickly. They've really got to string some stops together, turn it up at that end, and it'll create some easy baskets down the offensive end. At the moment, they're so one-dimensional, not getting any ball reversal, and the Wildcats are waiting for them on the split line.
It's 14 points the margin, Tony. Is it getting too big, the margin, with a quarter to play?
Oh, I think it is. 14 is pretty big to bring back in the fourth quarter on the road in a grand final series. And we just saw there BJ Anthony, one pass, not getting the ball and just one-dimensional, trying to get to the rim without trying to get his teammates involved. They need to get some ball movement, shift the defense, because the Wildcats are just waiting for them at the moment.
What's frustrating, Adelaide miss a couple of opportunities on the offensive end. Perth just keep going about their business, moving it through sets of hands, getting it to the hot guy. Like you said, James Ennis now has caught fire, and Perth's just so willing to get the basketball to the hot guy. There's that offensive rebound again.
Greg Hire is just a workhorse. He gets the cheers from his fans and his teammates.
31 rebounds of the Perth Wildcats to the 23 for the 36ers. And Hire, although he only has 6 rebounds, you wouldn't think, okay, that's not going to blow anybody's hair back. They have been at crucial times, those back-breaking offensive rebounds that have translated into about probably 10 points.
And there's still a lot of contact underneath the hoop. This foul will be called on. No foul called. It'll be an Adelaide ball.
It's a lane violation.
Lane violation.
Jervis in too quick.
So Kadee to set things up. A minute to play. 36ers needing to score here. The pass is good. Petrie through the lane. Gives it to Schencher. Nice finish from big Luke Schencher.
Hire with a flop. He'll get a warning.
Great little feed from Petrie. And Schencher finishes it off the way you should in a game of basketball with a dunk. 10 points to his name.
See, I don't understand why, guys have been dropping the whole game. I don't know why. That is not a whole lot different than anything that we've seen all night. I think it's just so hard to police that.
So you just let it go as Ennis into Wagstaff, who backs around. The pressure came from Schencher. I thought Schencher's game so far has been really imposing. He's not only got the 10 points, but he's also raked in a fair few rebounds. He's at 7 rebounds so far. He's been good. Here's Beal, new shot clock for the Wildcats. He decides he doesn't need a new shot clock. He bombs away, and it's an Adelaide ball.
Probably not a great shot by Jermaine. He's tapping his chest like That's exactly what he was thinking. My fault, guys. Hadn't got one off in a while. That's what that looked like.
Since half-time, he just wanted to get on the board again. James Ennis has been stealing too much of the spotlight over the last quarter or so. Here's Kadee. The pass is good to Johnson. We're right behind it. Little off target, working hard is Petrie. He keeps it to the advantage of Adelaide. Time ticking away, 69-56. Here's Petrie, loses the handle on it, but he's fouled. That was great play from Petrie, just continued to battle away, didn't he, to keep the ball alive.
I don't think you can complain too much about that. That's how Perth play on the other end of the floor. It looked like a Sean Redditch move, just repositions himself and catches it, uses his body, spinning in. That's what Adelaide need more of. Good strong post up, good interior feed. Get fouled, go to the foul line, do both. It's just probably a little too one-dimensional, like you said before.
Petrie drops in the first. Irvin, Gibson, Carter, Shencher, PJ Anthony all resting up for Adelaide for the onslaught in the final term. Petrie seconds a little short. Jervis comes up with the boards. His pass is a dangerous one. Beale will grab hold of it. 4 on the shot clock. Wagstaff will have to shoot. He tries to draw the foul, and well played by the referee. Game 1 of the grand final series in the NBL, and we are live around the nation on One. Steve Carfino, what a great sight it is. 13,600 fans cramming into the Perth Arena, cheering on their team in reds. But Adelaide are within striking distance as Petrie makes the all-important 2.
That is a huge basket for the 36ers. You want to get it. When you talk about within striking distance, it's one thing to shoot when you're up by 10. It's another thing to shoot when you're only up by 6.
So back to 10. Ennis, the step back from the 3. A little too long. Shencher does well to bring the ball to grounds. Gibson now in control. Pass inside. Petrie with back-to-back points. Adelaide back in at 8 points the margin.
That's huge. Greg Hire does a great job on the other end, but can't come up with the offensive rebound, and then the 36ers run out of it.
The pass into the corner, now in the hands of Ennis. He flies through the air. He wanted to make a statement there, but Shencher says, no way.
No, don't let this guy get the crowd going. They're already up on their feet. It's Daniel Johnson takes one for the team.
Yeah.
Boy, he didn't do a whole lot wrong on that one. He goes straight up and just gets bulldozed over.
3 fouls for Daniel Johnson. Not sure how you could mix up Luke Shencher and Daniel Johnson, but anyway, we'll move on from that. As Ennis drops in another couple to ease the pressure a touch, but still game on, 9 minutes remaining, 10 points that margin. Here's Gibson. To that man Johnson. Gibson wants it back. The spin move, unbelievable, but he just couldn't finish the play. Now it's in the hands of Beale. Irvin got him. Beale finds a little bit of space. Now out to Wagstaff. The handoff to Ennis. He'll go up against Johnson. He's fallen over. Got the pass out to Greg Hire.
Well, that's just icing on the cake when he is just stepping into those threes and knocking those down. He never takes a bad shot. Stays within his limitations. He's worked hard to get those opportunities. Still doing the tough work on the glass, setting great screens, getting the offensive rebounds. And now he's knocking down a 3, and he's getting more minutes.
He's come to play because he was shooting at 19% from the three-point line coming into this game. He's at 67 as Adam Gibson, polished as you like, drops in another 2 to make this game nice and interesting. 11 points the margin. A little bit of a pause for this song because I like it, Steve. I may go a little quiet. Here's Ennis. Up against Johnson, well covered. Greg Hire again. That was adventurous from Greg Hire. Comes into the hands of Jervis. The pass to Hire inside to Ennis. And he seems to finish that play every time. Draws the foul, gets it in off the glass, and he'll go to the line. Tony Rollinson, they're up and about now. It's a 13-point margin. The Wildcats leading the way.
Well, Joey Wright at three-quarter time, he wasn't too displeased with their effort, but I think the first couple of minutes here, it's more of the same from the Adelaide 36ers. The Wildcats getting way too many second chance opportunities, and Ennis there on the boards going for the three-point play. They really need to tighten it up. We've been saying it all night, out for 14 points. They've got a long way to go now.
James Ennis now with 23 points, Steve.
Tony's right. Most of the problem is second chance opportunities, second and third chances on offensive rebounds.
So a missed shot there from Adam Gibson. It's out to 14, 77-63, Beal. Great ball movement, Beal, and the pass was a little pick for Jervis from Ennis. So Adelaide with the chance to pick up the crumbs and score. The all-important score, Irvin, quick pass. Gibson for three, has to go and does.
Great location. Gary Irvin hitting the hot shooter in rhythm. It's so important. That's off the leg of Jermaine Beal.
So maybe things just going Adelaide's way, and just like the look of Adam Gibson right now. He's aggressive, and he's not just shooting from outside the three. He's driving in a little jumper or forcing it in and then dishing it off. He's just in an aggressive mood.
Those shots don't look like missing either. There's another one.
Here he goes again. Yeah, baby! Adam Gibson. That's the way to do it. When you're visiting this arena with 13,600 fans, you drop two long bombs and you silence them.
We sound excited. This is exactly what we want. We want a tight game.
So it's back to 8 points. It's the closest it's been for quite some time when it stretched out during that second quarter to double figures. And it just throws a little bit of pressure back on the Wildcats.
Similar to what happened in game one against Wollongong, and then the Perth Wildcats just stormed home, scoring the last 9.
Here's Knight. Wagstaff tempted to shoot. Gave it to Martin, one-on-one with Gibson. Good defence there, Matt Knight. His basket a little short, gathered by Damien Martin, and Knight finishes off with a little shots.
Man, I sound like a broken record, but another offensive rebound by Damien Martin.
The pass inside is good to Shenson. That's a hard foul from Jesse Wagstaff. And once again, coming from the hands of Adam Gibson.
See, that's how you foul a guy and you don't let him get it up, get his hands up.
That's what you do. 13 points for Adam Gibson. 16 points for Daniel Johnson, 12 to Petrie. And Shencher has 10 for the Perth Wildcats, 23 to James Ennis, 15 to Jermaine Beal. Hasn't scored since half-time. 36ers done a great job on him, but unfortunately, other boys have gone amongst the action because Greg Hire has 10 points. He's shooting at 50% from the three-point line.
And that's what when I spoke to Joey at halftime, I'm like, do you look at getting the basketball out of his hands? Do you trap him, make him give it up out of the high on-ball screen? He said yes, and then Greg Hire comes alive. The Wildcats have a number of guys. Sean Redditch hasn't done anything for a while, but believe me, he gets an opportunity. He will also. They've just got so many weapons.
They sure do. It's 8 points the margin, though. They're not home and hosed yet in front of the fans that have turned out in force. Here's Redditch, 5 on the shot clock. Ennis will have to make the play. The matchup perfect. Oh, and Adam Gibson. He got up pretty high to spot that away. He was called for the foul, and he's got 4 to his name. We'll have a look at it again. If that was clean, Gibson would have been celebrating for the whole week. Swatting away James Ennis is no mean feat.
Yeah. Good anticipation to come get that.
Ennis misses the second. Knight does well to keep it alive, though. That's the sort of boards that Adelaide need every time. It's out to 9 now, Steve Carfino.
And they are just getting their pants pulled down on the offensive rebound area. Ooh, he walked.
Called for the walk. A couple of changes for Adelaide. Gibson will sit down with those 4 fouls, give him a little bit of a rest and then bring him back on with a couple of minutes to go. Tony Ronaldson, you're staring at the courts. What are your thoughts right now? Adelaide have worked themselves back nicely.
Yeah, they've worked themselves really well back into the game. Adam Gibson stepped up, but as you guys have been mentioning in the call, it's all about rebounding. It's still only a 9-point game. They're just going to tighten it up in this last 5 minutes, get those boards, and then go down the other end, and it'll just create so many opportunities for them as Reece Carter comes up short. And then some of those types of ball will go their own way, and they'll get their own offensive rebound.
Little feed from Petrie to Carter, finishes it off nicely. Tees another 2 points in off the glass. He's got 14 points to his name.
Man, Adelaide are doing a great job of hanging in there.
They certainly are. It's only 7 points. Stay with us live on 1. It's the Wildcats 80, 36-73. Some nervous times here at the Perth Arena. The Wildcats only leaded by 7. Let's head into their huddle.
Clear it through. Dribble up the lane. Hold that screen. Ribbon or get on the rim. If you're open, if not, get it right. Hey, then get into some dive. Hey guys, it's all about defense. We got to lock down here defensively.
So a little bit more urgency. I know he's always revved up, Trevor Gleeson, but a little bit more urgency in that chat to his players.
Yeah, they've had a comfortable lead the whole game, and the 36ers done a fantastic job of just hanging in there. Like Joey Wright said, we're not even playing well. They've knocked down shots, and we're down 12. And now they're sitting here, a lot of time on the clock, just under 5 minutes, and only down 7. Joey Wright will take that. The way this game has gone, they could steal this on the road.
Absolutely, Tony, do you agree?
Yeah, well, just before you came to that timeout, Trevor Gleeson was talking about taking yourselves out of the play. Do not overplay your man and then give them layups as Reece Carter strips Ennis, but he'd be pretty happy with the way the Adelaide 36ers would be pretty happy with the way things are going. As Steve said, they're just hanging about. They're not doing anything spectacular, and if they can just tighten it up on the boards and not give the Perth Wildcats any second chance opportunities, they're right in this game.
Reece Carter, one of the best in the league. Damian Martin, probably the best. Reece Carter right up there, mirroring the basketball and getting those steals.
Big screen set by Shenshuk, now in the hands of Tees. 12 on the shot clock. Good strip, though, from Beal. Stole it out of his hands now. Ennis has got a little bit of problems. The big man, Shenshuk, does well. Gets to his knees. Gathers the ball. New shot clock. And more time to trim this margin. Petrie decides to pass. And Irvin's shot was a little short. He had to rush that off. Still 7 points, that margin.
Just a little tentative on that.
Lots of manhandling now. This is grand final time in the NBL as Ennis tries to get around Shenshuk.
Ooh, that looked like a charge. Get another look at it. Took that one right in the middle of the numbers.
James Ennis gets the call, going his way. 24 points to his name. He's also hauled in 9 rebounds, 4 assists. He gets the first. And makes the seconds. It's a 9-point ball game here at the Perth Arena. Adelaide trail as Irvin takes on Damian Martin. Matt Knight got there to help him out and tapped it away. Still Adelaide ball.
Good strong take. Perth just come up with a great defensive play.
Good hands that time by Martin. Gets the outlet to Ennis as there's space. He jumps up high. Petrie fouls him. Great steal from Damien Martin. And Petrie just had to make sure that Ennis wasn't finishing that play.
He probably got a lot more ball than he anticipated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he wasn't going to allow him to dunk.
Seems to be Mr. Reliable from the foul line, although no, he's 11 from 14, but his most recent shots from the foul line have been pretty good, James Ennis, and knocks in 2 more.
You know, it doesn't matter how you get him, but when they needed a bucket, they go to him to put the ball in his hands, and he's either scoring or he's getting fouled. He's making plays.
Back out to double figures now. Adelaide's needing something special with 3 minutes to play. The handoff to Gibson. Now in the hands of Irvin. He was smothered by a couple of Wildcats.
Again, Lockie just a little bit tentative. His last miss was tentative, and that one it looked like he was in 2 minds of whether he was going to shoot. James Ennis just has a brain explosion and throws the ball out of bounds.
And the head is down on that occasion. They could have really put one big nail into the coffin, but it keeps Adelaide alive. 11 points that margin. Kadee, Petrie, back to Kadee. This must go. It looks good. It was just a little short. Redditch up high. Did he take the rebound? Jump ball. As Johnson and Redditch have a little to do. It was a good look there for Kadee. Just wasn't strong enough to get the swish.
He struggled 0 for 5 from the field tonight. That was a very good look. Reese Carter 0 for 3. So guys coming off the bench in the backcourt, they were so good against the Melbourne Tigers in Game 3 to get that deciding semifinal over.
Gary Irvin subbed off as well, Steve, so that sort of sums up the sort of night he's had. Double team was on Beale tonight. Martin, Redditch, ball movement superb, shot not as good. Adelaide come up with another chance. Kadee to Gibson, just off balance as he took it in, and that'll be number 5 for Adam Gibson. He's on his way to the bench.
Don't the crowd know it? We talk about Adelaide having the knowledgeable fans. Yeah, they got that song locked and loaded too. Hit the road, Jack.
So Irvin will come back on and we'll listen in. If you're an Adelaide fan and you're watching this right now, get yourselves ready for Friday night. Make sure you buy your tickets and get down and support your team. They got a damn good record in their stadium, and they need all the fans they can to be nice and loud. Get a little raucous as well without going over the top.
That's right. They take pride in their team. They have the best home record in the country at 13-1.
So Irvin picks up the rebound. 11 points. The pass is good to Kadee. Through the key he goes. Good ball movement. Now it's in the hands of Tees. Floater is very nice. Brendan Tees, you're a star.
He's been rock solid tonight. 14 points on 6 of 8 shooting. He has mixed it up.
Back inside double figures again. It's a roller coaster ride here in Perth. Beale to Redditch. Gets around Johnson, the pass. Comes off the hands of Johnson now. Time really ticking away now. 9 points with 1:35 to go. Tony Ronaldson will give you a bit of a update on your thoughts of the game right now, and can Adelaide get back in with 1:35 to go?
Oh, I think they're going to struggle to get back in this one, but they can definitely put a stamp on this game and leave an impression on the Wildcats with these last minute and a half. A 6-point game, not out of the question. Of course, Kadee was going to hit a 3 as soon as it came to me. I was all prepared. But even if they don't get across the line tonight, I reckon that they've they're ready to go for Friday night. It's going to be a ripper.
Yeah, it certainly will be. And Adelaide are back in it, Tony, because it's 6 points to margin. And it always happens, doesn't it? You rule the team out and you say, no, it's over, but they can make a statement, and all of a sudden, more than a statement, it's a real lot of nerves in the team in red right now.
That's just great. A three-point basket by Jason Kadid, timely. Then the extended pressure, they get a piece of it, and then there's an 8-second violation, so a turnover backed up by a three-point shot backed up by a turnover with an opportunity to get 2 or 3 more here. This is more than a ball game. Over a minute to go. Missed free throws, turnovers, bad shots, anything could happen.
Jason,
let's go in and listen to Joey Wright.
And DJ, all right? Clean this up, Jason. Come up and action this. They've been switching on this from the out of bounds, so you should be in perfect position for this, okay? Peace, lead back. Gary, you got to be early there, okay? Got to be early. Teasy, if his man jumps to the inside here, you throw it straight over the top of him, okay? Jason, up, ask for the ball. DJ, you screening and dodging, okay? Go in front of 3 here. Put all 5 on the board. All 5 going to the board. If Knight gets the ball, foul.
So there's the message there. They just need to foul Matty Knight, force him to the foul line. Jason Kadid, that three-pointer was his first basket of the night. He's 1 from 6 from the field. Very timely, though.
Very timely. Joey Wright trying to steal this thing from the Perth Wildcats. There's their game plan. You heard the whole thing. They're sending 5 to the glass, so they're rolling the dice. Because if they send 5 to the glass, they can obviously kick the basketball ahead and score. But they need a stop and they need an opportunity. They're not worrying about how much they're going to lose by. They're trying to win.
Absolutely. You get one up here and you go home. And the championship is very, very tasty. So a little over a minute to go in this game. Adelaide are still fighting like they have all season. Here's Kadid up against Ennis. The floater a little short. Johnson stripped of the ball again by Damien Martin. That was unlucky. Beal to the front court to Martin. A stop necessary here for the 36ers. The foul will be on Martin. Called on Kadid. So Martin is the man with the ball. Cats wanting a change. Jesse Wagstaff into the game. Damien Martin goes to the line. And Matt Knight, well, that game plan of fouling Matt Knight is no good now because he's resting up. I think Trevor Gleeson might have had a little camera inside listening in because Damien Martin drops the first.
Yeah, he's got his best foul shooters in to finish this last minute of play. Adelaide need a lot of help. That's just great hustle.
So it's an Adelaide ball. 53 seconds remaining. Still 7 points. Still a chance for Adelaide to create some mayhem here in Perth. Off the glass, Petrie. 5 points the margin. Here comes the press again. Ennis trying to work his way into the front court. Referee's just let it go and then he's fouled. Petrie says, get it out.
Not sure why he was attacking so hard. They want to run clock off. He has an opportunity to pull it out. He splits the defense there. He'll go to the foul line, but really they want to just continue to run the clock.
He's been okay from the foul line for his last couple of shots, but as you say, you still just leave the door open, don't you? And there's still 40 seconds remaining. It's a long time in basketball, Ennis.
He's a good foul shooter, Lockie, but you don't have Matthew Knight out there. You got Redditch, you got Wagstaff, you got guys that can knock down. If you get an opportunity to run 5 more seconds on the clock, that's an advantage for you, but, you know, it doesn't matter. He's knocked down the free throws anyway. He's not thinking he's going to miss.
Got a fair bit of confidence about himself, and it's a 7-point margin still for the Perth Wildcats. It's been an absolute beauty so far. Tony Ronson will head in and have a listen to the huddles and give us an update on the plays each side will make with 40 seconds remaining. As the Muzz dancers surround the Adelaide 36ers bench, they do this cause a little bit of mayhem to rev things up a bit, Steve. Usually they do it when Perth are home and hose, but they're far from home and hose right now.
If you don't have it, you're stepping inbounds, kick out for the three, okay? Quick shot in the foul. Got it? Quick shot in the foul. Go to work on that, DJ. Go to work. Take work, fellas. A lot of time left. A lot of time left. You got to get a quick window out of bounds. Quick foul. Okay? Try to deny all shooters. Let the other guy go. Got it? Go. Come on. Let's go.
Exactly. 7 points is that margin. Ennis has 30 points to his name. Let's go to Tony Ronaldson.
Well, it's quite intimidating amongst the cheer girls there. They were coming in on the timeout. Joe Wright, very calm, very collected, just running a simple play out of bounds, going to try, get the ball down low and then back out for a three. But it is a long shot for them, but they're not going to go down without a fight.
Here's Johnson, works his way in. It was tapped away. BJ Anthony will get the boards and score the two. Well, gives himself a chance for a three-point play. They will not die wondering, Adelaide. This has been terrific. It's really summed up their season. It's been gutsy from word go.
And I know one game in particular they had no business winning was in New Zealand when Gary Irvin got the steal with the length of the court to pull out a one-point win. And they were behind the whole game.
He can trim this to 4 points, 35 seconds on the clock. BJ Anthony makes it a 4-point play, and they bring in the sharpshooter, and Carter has struggled from the outside the arc. In fact, he hasn't scored in the game, but maybe, Steve, this is his moments against an old team of his. The pressure is good from Adelaide. And there's a foul. Damien Martin will go to the line.
Well, they didn't have time to be too picky on who to foul, but Damien Martin is an inconsistent perimeter shooter, but he's solid from the line. But with 30 seconds left and you're down by 4, you can't wait for them to maybe get it to Hire, who's not a bad free throw shooter either. That's why he's in the ball game.
No pressure on the first one from Damien Martin. What a season he's had. And that one was a real nervous, shaky one, and it's dropped a little short. Here's Irvin. He got some magic, takes on everyone, doesn't finish the play, it'll come out the back to him. Here's Johnson, got an open passage to the lay-in, he drops it in. 2 more points to Adelaide. Under 20 seconds remaining in this game. They need to foul. And probably not the man to force to the line, because he is a gun from that foul line, Jermaine Beal. But wow, 3 points that margin.
He didn't want to give it up because he's a very good foul shooter. Good heads-up play. Didn't really have a great pass to throw to somebody else and run more clock off. So he hangs on to it. Adelaide make a play on one end of the floor, but they need help on this side with some missed free throws, which I don't think Jermaine Beal is going to grant them.
Back out to 4. Beal can make it 5 and make it that little bit tougher. And we've got another timeout. The Cats with a spring in their step, and Adelaide have as well. They're only 5 points. It was out to 14, Steve, and they've just worked their way back in to this game and give themselves an outside chance of stealing game 1, then taking it home to their place.
It is not like Perth haven't played well here in the fourth quarter. Adelaide have just been tenacious in getting themselves back into it. They've hit some big shots, and Perth they've made most of their free throws. They've made good decisions. They have not just given the game back to Adelaide. Adelaide have earned it.
And how much confidence does it give Adelaide? I mean, they go back home anyway, where they're a terrific team. They've only lost 1 game, but to know that they've taken it up to Perth in their own house, 13,600 people here as well, it's pretty intimidating in here.
It is. I mean, but this is a team that feels like they match up well against Perth, and they have a lot of veterans on that team who don't get intimidated by the big stage guys that have represented Australia. So, and Well, sometimes when you play in a game where a team is dominated like Perth have tonight, and then you hit a couple of shots and you don't have anything to lose because nobody expects you to win here.
So there's the final message from Trevor Gleeson. Don't foul the shooter. Don't give him any chance to make it a 3-point or 4-point play.
Oh, I watched a college game a couple of weeks ago in the Final Four, and the team was down 4. Kid fouled the 3-point shooter. He hit it, hit the free throw, sent it into overtime, and they lost.
Well, we'd like to have that sort of outcome in this game as Johnson once again works his way to the basket. Couldn't finish the play, and it's a Perth ball. Tony Ronson, what did you make out of those huddles?
Well, both the Wildcats obviously just, the clock is there, friend. 8 seconds to go now. I think after that defensive effort, they've got it all wrapped up. But Adelaide's definitely sending a message. They're not going to go down lightly. They'll be enjoying going back home, and they'll have a packed stadium there in Adelaide on Friday night. And it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, it certainly is, Tony. There's another foul being called. Jermaine Beale will go to the line again. So this is where the game just stretches out a touch as Adelaide try and keep themselves in it, hoping that Beale misses and gives them a chance.
Well, if you're the 36ers and disappointed with the outcome, look no further than the rebound count. Offensive rebounds going to the Perth Wildcats, just digging the 36ers such a big hole tonight against a good team on their home floor in front of 13,000 people. You cannot do that.
Beale makes them both. Time will tick away now. Urban has it. The pressure comes from Redditch. He has to shoot away, and he was out of court. It'll be a Wildcats win in Game 1 of this grand final series in the NBL.